All right. In my experience, the best way to master mental wellness or mental health is to understand your chakras because each chakra is connected to one of the seven organ systems and they regulate different nervous systems as well as emotional systems. Understanding where in your body each emotion is being regulated or dysregulated is important. It can go a long way in people learning how to regulate them. When you understand, I'm feeling this way because I need to focus on this chakra, it's a lot easier in day to day life to regulate your emotions, which gives you a stable mental state. Instead of just saying, well, I can't understand this situation or see this situation clearly. That means your third eye is dysregulated. Having your third eye balanced and regulated and that lotus open allows you to see things for what they are and sometimes see things that you may have missed or are not properly seeing clearly. And that's the point of knowing the chakras is being able to pinpoint where in your body and what you need to work on. That's why they're associated with a color. And even science and psychology does color therapy or color like light color therapy as well. Some people just deal with the colors, don't even use lights. And it's because they know if you stare at a color long enough, it can help regulate that nervous system or that chakra and balance out those emotions or the mental state associated with that chakra. So that's why we're going to go through each chakra and talk about what it's like when it's regulated versus dysregulated and how to become more whole by understanding which emotions are associated with each chakra and what you need to do to properly balance that chakra. The first chakra we're going to deal with is the root chakra. It deals with safety and stability and is located at the base of the spine, pelvic floor, legs, and feet. In themes of safety, it deals with survival, grounding, stability, and the body's relationship to support. When this center becomes dysregulated, life can feel unsafe even when no immediate danger is present. It may appear as anxiety, hypervigilance, chronic bracing, financial fear, shutdown, exhaustion, difficulty relaxing, feeling constantly on edge. The root chakra teaches you this. Stability is not the absence of fear, it is the ability to remain grounded while fear moves through you. Fear is not weakness, fear is information. Sometimes, if you use fear correctly, it can motivate you to get the things done that you need to get done. Like if you're afraid, oh, I'm not going to make this month's rent payment, and you have the ability to work some extras hours on the job, then that's you using fear in a positive manner. So, like I said, fear is not weakness. Sometimes we need to use negative emotions to get the things done that we need to get done. The nervous system often responds to this uncertainty, instability, and change, financial stress, relocation, or loss of control as a survival threat. A phrase to help you deal with the root chakra being dysregulated is I am safe enough in this moment. Not perfectly safe, not guaranteed safe, but safe enough. Again, I am safe enough in this moment. When activation appears, plant your feet firmly, soften your jaw, orient visually to the room, and lengthen your exhales. The body learns safety through repetition. Every time you return to the present moment, instead of spiraling into survival mode, the nervous system then learns I do not need to live in constant defense. The root is not about eliminating fear. It is about building enough stability to remain present while fear passes through you. And as far as a meditation technique, what you want to do is close your eyes. If you're able to visualize the color red. And just breathe deeply through your stomach, allowing the chest to rise last, then exhaling. Slowly out of your mouth or nose, whatever feels most natural to you. If you focus on your feet or around the pelvic or base of the spine, you may actually feel it tingle. If it's tingling, that means that chakra is not regulated or not balanced. So what you need to do is then set an intention for what you need to do to balance it. You'll know it's balanced when that energy point of that chakra or that organ part of your body becomes light. And then just breathe through the lightness. And if you want to, you could then start to move the energy up. You will feel the energy move up your body into the next chakra. But that's not necessary for what we're trying to do right now. What we're trying to do right now is just balance out those energies in that chakra. And once you balance out those energies, you should get ideas about what you need to do to eliminate the imbalance in that chakra. It may be, all right, let me start looking for another job, or what job you need to choose if you're struggling to pick a job, or let me move and get into a better apartment or a better house, or a safer house, or a safer apartment, or a better part of town, or a part of town that's just more aligned with what you need to do to feel safe and stable. The root is about stability, foundation, eliminating all fears, whether it's physical or mental. It may say you need to take a self-defense class for dealing with physical safety. Whatever you hear internally, you need to learn to trust that voice. And when you are intentionally meditating and putting yourself in a state of relaxation and feeling that chakra and the energy move in that area, that's how you begin to trust your body and what you need to do to be stable emotionally, as well as regulating that nervous system and that particular part of your body. All right, the next chakra is the sacral chakra. One of the most important, misunderstood, and in my opinion, one of the more commonly dysregulated and unbalanced chakras that I see in people. And what I mean by see is by their actions. And you will understand why once we go through it. First of all, it deals with creativity, sexual energy, and emotional flow. The sacral chakra is located in the lower abdomen, hips, and pelvis. Its themes are creative energy, sexuality, pleasure, emotional flow, desire, relational bonding, and embodied life force. The sacral domain is not about emotional intensity. It is about safe movement of life force through the body. The Hindus call it Tantra. Emotion, creativity, sexuality, pleasure, longing, attraction, and expression are all different movements of the same underlying energy. The sacral chakra teaches this. Creativity is not proving yourself. It is expressing yourself with what is alive within you. And what it's saying with that is, if you enjoy painting, making music, whether it's singing or actually making beats or whatever, I recommend doing it so that it heals other people. That will bring the money. That will bring the recognition if that's what you want. But most importantly, it will bring fulfillment to your purpose. Fulfillment is what people have lost because they're just focusing on the money. That's why you see people who have great jobs and making a lot of money, they're not fulfilled because they're not using that sexual tantric energy to really express themselves in a way that's fulfilling. They may be a lawyer making six figures, but they really want to sell their artwork that's just sitting in the home, that when people come over and see, they're like, you should sell this. This is awesome. Because they're able to express their emotions in a way that it captures the emotions of someone else and calms them down or makes them feel seen. And that's what's lost now, because everything is just about making money and not the creative ways which people express themselves. And sexual energy does not just refer to physical intimacy. It refers to the body's generative force. Like I said, Tantra. The energy is connected to creativity, desire, movement, sensuality, play, expression, vitality, and emotional aliveness. Emotion is one expression of this energy. When the nervous system learns that vulnerability, pleasure, desire, visibility, creativity, or emotional honesty are unsafe, the flow of this energy often becomes restricted. This may appear as emotional numbness or flooding, creative blocks, shame around pleasure or desire, compulse, intimacy, or avoidance, fear of being seen creatively, cycles of overexpression followed by collapse, difficulty accessing playfulness, sensuality, inspiration, or joy. And that's, like I said, it's just the worst part about being alive now because, as they said back in the 90s and 2006, sells. But it's a distorted version of sexuality and sexual expression. Sexual deviance is a major problem now. There's nothing wrong with having it, but why are you having it and with whom and the energies you absorb while doing it? Some people do not realize laying down with the wrong person will cause you to lose everything you have, and then you absorb that person's mental illnesses or their literal physical diseases. Knowing who you laying down with is everything. And knowing why you're trying to fill that void, whether it's because you didn't receive the love of a mother or a father. Daddy issues and mommy issues, as everyone sees, is a real thing. And this is the chakra that deals with that. And instead of having sex, sometimes you need to find a creative way to express yourself, to release that pent up sexual frustration. Like I said, whether it's playing an instrument, drawing, painting, making content, even sports, those are all healthy ways to express your creativity. Most people are not disconnected from creativity because they lack talent. They're disconnected because the body associate expressions with danger, judgment, rejection, humiliation, or loss of belonging. The nervous system then restricts movement in order to protect itself. A phrase that will help you with this is, I am allowed to feel, create, and express. When emotional shutdown or creative contraction appears, place a hand on the lower belly, slow the breath, and reduce performance pressure. Do not force emotion. Do not force creativity. Allow movement to return gradually. It is also important to distinguish sexual energy from sexual behavior. In this framework, sexual energy refers to the broader life force associated with creativity, pleasure, desire, emotional movement, attraction, and generative capacity. A person may have strong sacral energy without being sexually active, and sexual behavior alone does not necessarily indicate regulation. The goal is not intensity. The goal is safe embodied movement. When regulation returns to this domain, creativity, pleasure, and emotional fluidity often reemerge naturally, not as performance, but as aliveness. And a meditation technique is simply this: closing your eyes, visualizing the color orange, feeling the energy in your body right below the navel, but above the pelvic region. Once again, you will know whether this chakra is balanced or imbalanced or dysregulated by if you feel a tingle versus lightness. And all you need to do is focus all your energy and intensity in that area and ask yourself and allow yourself to feel, is it tingling or is it light? And then ask yourself, what do I need to do to regulate this chakra so that it becomes light? And whatever you hear internally, take your time working through any emotions that may arise or visions or old situations that you need to let go that would allow you to fully regulate this chakra. Some of you are going to see and relive some very traumatic things, especially dealing with this chakra, because like I said, it deals with sex and anything that has happened to you sexually. And that's okay. This is how you get past those traumas in that area. And once you feel that chakra light again, that is going to allow you to be free and allow you to be sexually responsible and allow you to be able to create and express your creativity fully in a way that brings you joy. And it may bring you money, but most importantly, is about you feeling free and light in your body and light in the area. All right. Next, we have the solar plexus chakra, and it deals with identity, confidence, and personal power. The solar plexus is located up the upper abdomen, right above the belly button, and its themes are identity, confidence, self-esteem, willpower, agency, personal power, and directed life force. The solar plexus domain governs the formation and expression of self. This is the center in which a person experiences individuality, confidence, direction, action, and the ability to shape reality through conscious choice. In many traditions, this region is associated with the inner sun. And that right there is the most important part about understanding, in my opinion, the solar plexus. That's why they say, let your light shine. Like the sun, it radiates energy outward, shaping how a person acts, leads, chooses, protects, and creates and defines themselves. Life force is not only felt here, it's directed here. The solar plexus teaches this. Confidence is not performance. It is trust in your ability to act. Confidence is not arrogance or narcissism. It is self-trust. It is the ability to choose, act, lead, hold boundaries, take up space, and remain connected to yourself under pressure. When this center is regulated, action feels grounded, intentional, and clear. When it is dysregulated, identity becomes organized around protection rather than authenticity. And this is when you see people who hang around people that they know they shouldn't be hanging around. They know the things that they are doing and the things they're around are not them. And it's because they have no real self-identity, low self-esteem, or at the end of the day, self-confidence and being their true selves. And it's okay because it happens to a lot of people. It may appear in ways of chronic self-doubt, fear of criticism or failure, people-pleasing for approval, perfectionism, overcompensation through control or achievement, collapse under judgment, fear of visibility, exhaustion from proving one's self-worth. The nervous system experiences threats to identity similar to physical threats. Humiliation, rejection, powerlessness, criticism, or loss of status can trigger intense psychological activation. Because of this, confidence is not purely mental, it's also psychological. Anger is one expression of the solar plexus activation, particularly when identity, agency, or boundaries feel threatened. But anger is not the core of this center, identity is. A solar regulation phrase is, I can stay connected to myself while choosing my response. When activation appears here, slow your breath, relax the upper abdomen, release the jaw, and ask, what action would keep me connected to myself right now? That question restores agency without reactivity. Confidence does not develop by eliminating fear. It develops through repeated experiences of acting without abandoning yourself. The solar plexus domain is not about domination or performance. It is about developing a stable relationship with personal power. Like the sun, this center radiates outward. It shapes how a person acts, creates, chooses, protects, and leads, and defines themselves. When the solar regulation stabilizes, identity becomes less reactive, action becomes clearer, and power no longer depends on control. This is how grounded selfhood develops. And a meditation technique for this is to close your eyes, focus your energy and intention right above the belly button. If you're able to visualize and set an intention to visualize your own personal sun. As you breathe, if it feels tingly, breathe until it feels light. Also, you may see internally your personal sun grow bigger and bigger and more vibrant, and feel it the more you breathe through and open up that chakra. It is one of the most powerful chakras there are, because when other chakras are weak, or there's doubt, or there's negative emotions or entities attached to you, you can use that chakra to burn away those negative emotions or those negative beings or forces that are trying to attach to you. If the throat chakra specifically is blocked, you can use that chola chakra to decalcify it and the third eye. And this is from experience and being in sessions with people. So it is important to meditate on this chakra specifically, because like we said, it deals with self-identity. And if you don't know who you are and what you're about and what you came here to do, it's hard to live life mentally healthy and have a regulated nervous system if you don't even know who you are, what you like to do, the people you like to hang around, and ultimately what type of impact you want to leave on this earth, in your family, around your peers, or just what makes you happy. It also deals with happiness, and being happy is being healthy mentally, physically, and spiritually. And like you said, it starts with the first thing you see in the morning. So if you don't like what you see in the morning, change it. And I mean naturally. Go work out. Spend time working on yourself, not just physically, but mentally, until you become the version of yourself that you know you truly are and what you was as a kid. Because as a kid, you were fully confident in who you were and what you are. Let's get back to that. Let your sun shine bright. All right, now we have the heart chakra, the Anahata. It deals with connection without self-abandonment. The heart chakra is located in the center of the chest and upper back. Its themes are connection, compassion, grief, love, and relational balance. When dysregulated, this center may appear as overgiving, codependent, fear of abandonment, emotional withdrawal, guardedness, resentment after helping others. The heart teaches this. Connection is not self-sacrifice. It is the ability to care without abandoning one's self. Love is not the loss of boundaries. When someone oversteps your boundaries, you need to check them in a way that's safe for you. When you tell someone no, or you don't want to do something, or you don't want them to do something, and they continue to do it, that is an overstepping of boundaries, whether it's parents, friends, partner, whoever. You have to learn how to regulate boundaries. Love is regulated connection. The heart allows care without collapse, truth without cruelty, and closeness without self erasure. A heart regulation phrase is I can care without abandoning myself. Place your hand on your chest, breathe slow, allow warmth and softness to build gradually. The heart does not need to be forced open, it needs safety. When the nervous system learns that boundaries and connection can coexist, love becomes stable. And the most important type of love is self love. When you are continuously giving more than you're receiving, that's an imbalanced and unbalanced relationship. You need to learn how to love yourself. And for some people, that means being alone with yourself for an extended amount of time. If you are always jumping from relationship to relationship, friend group to friend group, and never alone with yourself, how can you know yourself or what you truly love? Turn off the social media, turn off the TV, turn off the video game, turn off all the distractions, and get to know you. The solar and the heart chakra almost go hand in hand because it's about self-identity and loving oneself for who you truly are and surrounding yourself around people that love you for who you truly are and don't overstep those boundaries. Knowing when to be alone and when to be around other people, knowing when you've overextended yourself and when you're not extending yourself enough. Everything is about moderation and balance. And that's true love, is understanding those things. It's not about being nice. Like I said, sometimes you need to tell the truth to people, not in a way that's rude or demeaning, but in a way that's honest and what they need to hear, especially when it comes to setting up your boundaries. A meditation technique is focusing all your energy and intention in the center of your chest and breathing through the center of your chest. And you will see any and everything that is holding you back from self-love and loving yourself and being the best version of yourself. If you see situations, old situations that keep coming up, ask what you need to do to move past those situations. That is going to free up your heart. Your heart is a portal. It has 4 chambers for a reason. North, east, west, south. Mastering the elements is mastering your heart. Air, water, fire, earth. And when you master those 4 elements and those 4 chambers, you open up the 5th, which is the ether, which is the center of those 4. I have done multiple heart meditations to where people go within their heart and they sit on the throne that is in the middle of the heart. The pyramids are a physical outer representation of the 3 hearts we have. And when you are able to visualize a pyramid, walk through it with the intention to sit in the middle of your heart and sit on your own throne, that's when you become whole. That's when you can get answers to the questions about what's holding you back from being loved by yourself. And when you love yourself fully, then you are able to receive and attract the love from other people, whether it be friends or actual soulmate. But it starts with loving yourself. All right, the throat chakra, which deals with truth and expression via sound. The throat chakra is located in the throat, neck, and jaw. Its themes are expression, communication, truth, and alignment. When dysregulated, this may appear as silence, over-explaining, people-pleasing, indirect communication, fear of speaking honestly, compulsive disclosure, verbal aggression. The throat teaches this. Truth is not volume, it is the courage to express what is real. Truth does not mean saying everything. It means saying what is aligned. Many people learned that silence was safer than honesty. Others learn they only have value when they pleased others. Over time, the throat adapts, tightening, suppressing, and performing, or overcompensating. A throat regulation phrase is this: I can speak simply or not at all. When expression, stress appears, take one breath, soften the jaw, release the tongue, and pause. Then choose one clear sentence or silence. Clarity does not require force. Alignment does not require performance. And that's the thing about the throat, especially when you're in a discussion with someone that turns into an argument or a disagreement. Sometimes you do not need to meet them word for word. Sometimes you just need to be quiet and remove yourself from that situation. Because once you've said what you said, and it's the truth, and you know in your heart it's the truth, and they know it's the truth, there's nothing else that needs to be said. You just need to remove yourself. And sometimes, like it says, everything does not need to be expressed. If you know the truth of a situation, you don't need to call and tell that person you know the truth. Just move on and let them lay in their filth. Do not destroy your happiness and your peace because you feel like you always need to call out the truth. That's something I learned and had to master very quickly. Sometimes silence is the loudest truth. And the meditation technique for the throat, visualize the color blue, if you're able to visualize, and feel that throat. If it's tingly, it's unbalanced and dysregulated. Focus on it and ask yourself, what do I need to do to make this chakra balanced and light? And trust the answers you receive until it's light. Sometimes you may need to say some things out loud that have been on your heart in order to fully balance out that chakra. Or you may need make a video expressing your truths just for you. Or even sometimes write it down. But your voice is powerful. Some of you should be making content because your voice carries certain frequencies and vibration that by just from people hearing it will heal them. And some of you have information that is divine that people are waiting to hear. And it's your voice that will catch their attention. So trust your voice. And it starts by trusting that heart, which has helped by having a self-identity that you know is you. And all those things contribute to you being able to live in your truth and speak your truth. The last chakra, if going from bottom to top, is the Crown Chakra, which deals with awareness, knowing, and integration. The Crown Chakra is located at the top of the head. Its themes are awareness, integration, perspective, openness, and knowing. When dysregulated, this may appear as disassociation, escapism, excessive abstraction, spiritual bypassing, disconnection from practical life. The Crown teaches this. Knowing is not about understanding. It is about accepting what truth reveals. True awareness does not remove us from this life. It returns us to it more fully. The crown is not about collecting endless spiritual concepts. It is about integration. It is about the ability to remain present with truth instead of resisting it. A crown regulation phrase is this: awareness does not remove me from responsibility. When you feel disconnected or overly abstract, notice the breath, orient the body, and choose one grounded practical action. Drink water, stand up, step outside, send that email, eat something nourishing. Integration matters more than endless contemplation. Awareness becomes stable when it remains connected to lived reality. And to be honest, this was my biggest struggle, because when people talk about downloads or receiving divine information, this is the chakra that allows you to do that. And mine has always been super open. And it also was the cause for me not focusing as much as I should have on the 3D, on the things going on in this reality. Because I became addicted to information. And it's helpful information. But if not brought down to the 3D, it does not allow you to live the life you desire to live. And if you're always seeking to understand, but never accepting what you understand, that can put you in an unhealthy and dysregulated mental state. So, while some of you may receive downloads and information all day and want to seek to understand higher and more divine information, first master this 3D, because that's where you are. And after you receive some of those downloads, start applying them. And that's how you live a healthy life here. You don't want to be so heavenly high that you're no earthly good. You must use those divine downloads to make your everyday physical life better. A meditation for the crown. Focus all your energy on the top of the head. If you're able to visualize the color purple, visualize that. If it's tingly, it's closed and dysregulated, and you need to ask, what do I need to do to make it light and regulated? Whatever visuals come, ask, why am I seeing this? How do I release these thoughts and these visions so that my crown is regulated and light? And keep going until you feel that it's light. And since it is the last chakra, if you've done these in order and you've pulled the energy up through each chakra, you will feel it come out through your crown and flow above you. That's what a Kundalini awakening truly is. Starting at the base and raising up that energy through the chakras, but they must be clean, open, and regulated for the energy to flow. If not, you really and truly risk what they call a spontaneous combustion. That is when people try to raise up Kundalini energy and the chakra is blocked, and it literally causes an explosion. And if you think I'm lying, just Google it. It is a scientific phenomenon that has happened. And some people do it unknowingly. Some people do it without realizing they needed to balance their chakra first. So, open all the chakras before you try to raise energy up through the crown. And remember, with all that divine information, it does not do you any good if you don't bring it down into the lower and into the heart specifically to help you live a more balanced and divine life in this 3D reality. Peace.